I bet that seeing a resurgence of the Samantha March and Ali Glines palette tag in 2025 was not on your bingo card, okay? Put it down in the comments if this was on your bingo card. It wasn't even on my bingo card and I'm here filming it. Here's the thing. I miss old school YouTube content. I miss tutorials. I miss get ready with me's. I miss challenges. I miss tags. So I'm taking it upon myself. And even though this is not the content that's popular on YouTube right now, I don't care. I don't care. Listen, you can't tell me what to do. You're not my real dad. I'm gonna film what I want to film. I will link the ladies down below. I will link the last time I did this tag, which was, I want to say 2022. I think it was 2022. Yeah, I think it was 2022 and it is now 2025 and I'm at it again. I just want to talk about eyeshadow palettes. It is 11 different questions. I will put them down below and maybe I'll add a 12th one. You know what? I will add the 12th one myself because I'm a wild card, okay? Can't stop me. Can't be stopped. This is gonna be, I'm gonna answer this. The things that I answered in the tag last time, all of them are in a way still true. Well, most of them. But I want to answer different things. So I am going to be answering different things because it's fun and I want to go through eyeshadows and I just want to talk about things. So the first question is all-time favorite palette. Hear me out. Since then, it is now 2025. This is 3.5 years later. Is that true? I had an A in math.
What?
That's not visible at this point, but I did. All-time favorite palette. Since then, I have started my own beauty brand and I have since then come out with 2 eyeshadow palettes with my own brand. And I'm a little bit biased. I gotta say, I'm so proud of these. I've been able to create some of my dream palettes and as I'm filming this, I am in the process of creating even more things. And of course I can't show you those now because I literally see it here in front of me. It's like samples. I am now in, which even when I like said it now, it's just sometimes I give myself the shivers. I'm in a position right now where I am able to create not only my dream palettes, but also what I hope is to be other people's dream palettes. So the first one we came up with is Galactic Visitor. This is mine. It's pretty well used. I love this palette. This is a color story that's very me. It's a mix of warm tones, cool tones, light shade, dark shades, different kinds of shimmer formulas. There's a holographic shade in here. This one is out of stock right now, but it is being restocked. I've gotten my customer service representative, the person who works with customer service for my brand. I will leave this link down below. She told me she got so many questions asking, when is this one back in stock? This is out of stock right now. And I'm telling you right now, it is being restocked with the next launch that Singe Beauty is having, which is hopefully, let's all of us cross our fingers, it's happening in September. The second palette that we came out with is Agate Temptation. This is just a warm, grungy green palette with some oranges, some neutrals. I love this kind of a color story. There's also a little bit of cool tones in here. I mean, this is just, again, it's just my kind of color story. And that's what I want to keep coming out with. I want to keep coming out with stuff that like I'm really proud of. But also, I will say, I did 2 of my dream color stories here, but I will say, I am now going to come out with some more things in the future where it's not just like, it's more, not that I don't love it, because this is not like, oh my god, these are my dream color stories, but now I'm trying also to be creating what I hope to be other people's dream color stories. And I'm excited to have that for the future. Because I did, in the last one, I had just had Kaleidos Club Nebula come out, and I did answer that palette. And even though, in a way, that is still my dream palette, I feel like a lot of people are looking at that palette through rose-colored lenses. Because that one, it was, I mean, it's literally more than 5 years old, was great quality and it was a great color story, but that is not the best. I'm gonna throw it out there. That is not, according to me, the best color story I've ever made. And I do think a lot of people look at that palette through FOMO, either through having it when other people do not, or through wanting it, almost like Mi Vida Loca by Kat Von D. When people were looking at that palette and I was trying to shake people and just be like, it is just a rainbow palette. And I'm not saying that the Club Nebula is not a great palette. I'm just saying that there are other great palettes out there as well. Not just these, but like other things that other people have created as well. So don't get too caught up in the FOMO about that palette. Next one is new favorite palette. And this one, I immediately knew which one I wanted to pick because I have been loving this palette. By the way, I did film this look. I think this look is already live on my channel. I did do a challenge. Again, I'm trying to do old school YouTube things, and I think this look is already live because I did a challenge. And if it's live, I'll put a link down below. This is the Monk palette by Fantasy Cosmetica. Oh my god, you can tell. Look at the t-shirt I'm wearing. This is my color story. This is what I love. Look at this. This is this t-shirt. This t-shirt and an eyeshadow palette. I love these murky, yummy shag rug 70s colors. Okay, I love this. And when I saw this, I was like, I love this color story on its own together with other things. I just think that this one, not only is it great quality, it's just a great color story and it just makes me so happy. So when this one came out, I just love this. I love Fantasy Cosmetica. I think she has an eye for interesting color combos and for taking it there. I feel like she takes some risks. And I love seeing a brand that takes some risk. Absolutely love this one. Expect to see this one in some of the top positions of favorite palettes of the year because I love this one. Palette you keep for the memories. So the palettes I answered last time, I still 100% I still stand by those palettes. The thing is, I have in my office, I have above my computer where I sit down, because I have a desktop computer. When I sit down and edit, I have like shelves, and on those shelves I put things, memorabilia and things that make me happy. So sometimes when I'm editing, I like lean back, I look up, and it's just like, you know, you regain some energy by looking at some of the things. So I have some friends collabs there, I have gifts that I've gotten from subscribers when I met them in real life, I have notes that I've gotten from you, all of that is up there. Some of my collabs is up there. Like, it's just a shelf of happiness. And I wanted to showcase some of the palettes that I have there that are collabs from friends, and one of them is the Resurgence palette that my friend Heather Austin did together with Unearthly Cosmetics. And this was inspired by the shells of beetles and insects that are just like those really iridescent bright colors, and there's just some really fun color combos in here, and I love the combo of this one. These three shades together, absolutely beautiful, and it just makes me really happy. This color story makes me really happy, and I love Heather as a person, and I love Unearthly as a brand, and the owner of Unearthly as well. Amanda, I love her as well as a person. So this palette just makes me so happy. And also my friend Betty Beans, her palettes together with Shroud Cosmetics. Shroud Cosmetics is not around anymore, and I think a lot of people will agree with, even though it's sad that they're not around anymore, and maybe it's for the better because they did have quite a rocky time being an indie brand. But this is the It's Freaking Bats and Hallobean palette. So this is the first one that they came out with. This had a little bit of a tumble. You can see there's a little bit of loose in here. This is such a fun color story. I feel like she got so much well-deserved hype for this story. It is a beautiful, beautiful palette. And I think that this palette is one of those, when people talk about like the best collabs out there with creators, I feel like a lot of people think about this one. And then they did a second one that's called Hallobean, that is a little bit more like classic, more like grungy Halloween colors. And I love that there's a bright orange in here. Again, I love the oranges. So overall, I think that both of these palettes are just really beautiful palettes, and just my friends' palettes makes me happy. And I do not showcase makeup as decor. It's not my kind of decor, but some things I do showcase on those two shelves specifically because it just makes me happy when I'm like in my work zone to be able to see some of my friends, the things that they have done. Number 4 is underrated palette. Okay, I know. Okay, and a brand that is hyped for good reason is Cosmic Beauty. They used to be Cosmic Brushes, now they're Cosmic Beauty because they do makeup as well and not just brushes. But I feel like one of the palettes that I really love is the Gothic. It's Gothic, right? The Gothic palette. And I feel like this one didn't get as much hype as the other palettes, maybe because it's a smaller palette, but I love this format and I love this color story and I love the quality. This is like a pinky purple color story and it is just beautiful. Love this color story. And I also feel like when it comes to monochromatic palettes, I don't feel like it needs to be bigger than this. This is a really beautiful 12 pan palette. I think she did a great job with this one. Usually she does 20 pan palettes, but I honestly think if there's more monochromatic themes that she would like to explore, I definitely think the 12 pan is enough. And I love this color story. Some of these palettes that I'm going to be talking about today are available and some of them are not. But if they are available, I will link them down in the description box. And I do have a code with some of these brands too in case you are interested. But I love this palette and I feel like, I don't know why this didn't get as much hype as their other palettes, but I guess it's because it's a smaller palette and people maybe want to get a bigger palette. And usually a lot of people think that like you get more bang for your buck because a small palette, even if it's 12 shades, it is not like almost half the price, because that's one of the things with pricing. Just because it's half the shades, it can't be half the price because there's a startup cost with packaging and with like all of these things. But I still think that this one is definitely a palette that deserves more hype. I think it is such a great palette. Not a favorite, but can't get rid of. Okay, hear me out. I am a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I have bought quite a few Star Wars things. I've gotten quite a few Star Wars makeup in PR as well. And one of the things, I feel like I got this one myself. This is the Mandalorian and Colourpop palette. Some of the things from Colourpop I've gotten in PR and some of it I bought myself. I'm pretty sure I bought this one myself. I love the Mandalorian. I love the series. I love Star Wars. It is what it is. I will say though, this is not my favorite color story from Colourpop. It's a little cool tone, which isn't my favorite to wear or to work with. But with that being said, I love the packaging. This is beautiful, high quality packaging. It is that lovely soft touch packaging that I also do on my palettes, that I just feel like it feels and looks so luxurious. And I love a good like high quality cardboard packaging, and that's what this is. It's Mandalorian. The packaging is beautiful. The color story isn't my absolute favorite, but I won't get rid of it because I love Star Wars. Fave collab palette. Okay, I've talked about some collabs that some of my friends had, so I'm gonna talk about a Fave collab that is with a franchise that I think they did so good. And that is, and nobody's gonna be surprised, the Lethal Cosmetics and Avatar The Last Airbender collection. These palettes, this entire collection was just so good, so well made. And if I'm gonna be honest, I think overall, I'm gonna say it. I think Lethal Cosmetics is the new reigning champions of doing collabs great. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think the packaging, the color stories, the execution, the products that Lethal Cosmetics have done with their collabs is quite honestly better than what Glamlight is doing. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. That's what I think, and I am very excited about these palettes. This is the water one, which is the blue one that has a brown and a white. I think this is a super nice, again, monochromatic blue palette with just a pop of like a little bit of neutrals to help up with the looks if you want to ground them or if you want to contrast a little bit. I think it is absolutely beautiful. Then we have the fire one. This is a warm neutral palette with a pop of really bright red. Think this is a great palette. Absolutely love it. Just this entire collection, absolutely beautiful. And then we have the Wind palette, which I think is a great color story. It is a little bit unexpected, and this is those kind of color stories. I actually talked about this palette quite recently when I was in Bali on a Trova trip. I said the best way to approach this palette is to hold over a pop. Hold over a pop. It's much more approachable. Hold over a pop, it's much more approachable. Hold over a pop, and it's much more approachable. Like hold over one of the colors and it's much easier to approach this palette. But when you see all of these pops together, you're like, how am I supposed to incorporate all of those in a look? You're not. Or you could, but you don't need to. I mean, sometimes just 3 colors or 2 colors makes a great look, and I think this is a great palette. I think a lot of people's favorite palette is the Earth one, but this is a great color story. Love the greens, love the undertones of the greens that they picked. And this duochrome here, which is that like green to this like peachy pink, such a great incorporation for this palette. And overall, I think this one has just such a great undertone, an interesting, very fun undertone of green. I think those palettes are beautiful and they're still in stock. I actually looked because I thought that they sold out. They did sell out of that collection, but it's still in stock. And I think that palette, like those palettes, that whole collection, still worth the hype. Next one is this one says 2021 favorite palette. Well, who cares about that? Actually, my favorite palette from 2021 was the Passion in Paris by Beauty Cosmetics. Rest in peace. But my favorite palette of 2024, that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be so interesting what my favorite palette of 2025 is gonna be. Can you believe we're getting into that season soon with like favorites and declutters and all of that? But my favorite palette of last year, this is the second palette by Fantasy Cosmetics I mentioned in this, and this is the Harvest of Souls. And this one was my favorite palette of last year. Love this one. This is a 16 pound from the brand. It is just cool tones, warm tones. There's a pastels, there are grungy colors, there's jewel tones, there's some special shades. It's just, I love this color story. I love the way that this is just so unexpected, but still really works together. And I love that there are so many different combinations that you can combine these colors and just make different looks. You're not tied into one color story. You're not tied into one depth or to just, there's so many different variations. And I absolutely love this color story. And I still think this is a beautiful palette. And I do think that this one is still available too. It's a great palette. Next one is, didn't expect to love. Okay, I love a good rainbow palette. I love a good rainbow palette, and if you love colorful eyeshadows, I do think that a good rainbow palette is a nice staple to have in your collection. But immediately when I saw the Drops of Fantasy by DD Cosmetics, DD's signature, I didn't think that I was gonna love this one. But again, there's something about the undertones in this palette. It's so fun, and I have loved playing with this palette. There are brights, there are muted, there are some really interesting undertones going on in some of these shades that are just super fun and different for a rainbow palette. And again, there's light shadows, there is more murky shadows, there are super brights, almost like a neon green, and then this row of just really interesting, special, like duochromes. And I also think there is, yes, this one is a holographic duochrome. Really interesting. And I just think that this is an updated, modern, fun rainbow palette that took me by surprise. And quite honestly, I really love. I would not be surprised if we see this one somewhere in the top layer of my favorite palettes of the year, because I think it is absolutely beautiful. Okay, palette that sparks joy. Hear me out. Again, I love these kind of colors. I love these kind of colors, and a palette that I have been reaching for quite a lot in videos outside of YouTube or to complement looks have been the High Temp palette by Unearthly Cosmetics. I love this palette. Unfortunately, I do think that this one is out of stock. This one came out last summer, and it has been a palette that I've been reaching for quite a lot since then. I do hope she's able to get this one back in stock at some point, because it is a beautiful palette. It is also one of Unearthly Cosmetics' more affordable palettes. I'm putting that in quote unquote because who am I to decide what you think is an affordable palette, but in comparison to her other palettes, it has 4 really beautiful shimmers, and then it has 8 different mattes. And what I really love about this palette is you have this row of like just incredibly, like, I'm talking like molten core World of Warcraft magma shades. If you know, you know. And then we have a row of like almost like muted mauve pinks, and there's 2 pastel shades in here as well. And I just feel like this is such a well-made palette that, again, you can use this on its own, you can use this on its own, you can use the mattes on their own and do fully matte, still very blended and gradient looks, or you can mix the 2 layers together and get really interesting contrasting looks. I just think that this is such a good palette. Such a good palette. I really hope it comes back in stock because I love it. Okay, the newest palette in your collection. Okay, the newest palette in my collection, as I'm filming this palette has not been shown yet. So I am not able to put this video live until this video, until this palette has been shown, but I got this in the mail yesterday. This one has been revealed as you're seeing this, and this is the Halloween palette by Nomad Cosmetics, and this is the Witch City Salem. This is their Halloween palette, and I think it's beautiful. Again, I haven't done anything with this. I just opened it yesterday, but it's not new to you, but I feel almost a little naughty showing it, even though I know I'm not gonna put this video live until Nomad shows it, but I think it's beautiful. And you know what I thought about actually? This palette reminds me a little bit of one of my Halloween palettes that I did with Oden's Eye some years back. So if you missed that, I will say this color story is giving me somewhat of that same kind of like feeling with the purple and the red and the orange and the bright green. Not a dupe, and I don't think they copied me, but it is giving me a little bit confidence knowing that I did have some of the Halloween colors somewhat down because seeing in other Halloween palettes. So if you missed that one, maybe this color story could be for you. I think the palette is absolutely beautiful and I cannot wait to play with it. The last question of the questions that was original in this tag is first palette you used, and last time it was 2022, but this time it's going to be 2025. And you know what? I have no idea. I have no idea. So I looked at the first video that I published under 2025, and it was published, I think like the 2nd of January. So I was thinking, did I film this in beginning of January? Maybe I did. So I'm just going to assume that the video where I was trying the Beauty and the Beast palette by Colourpop, did I use this, the first palette in January? I have no idea. But this is at least the first palette that I showed on my channel in 2025. And this is this really beautiful neutral palette that has a pop of like some pale yellows and some blues. And I thought that this palette was, I mean, kind of decent. I didn't love the quality, but I really did enjoy the look that I did, and I definitely feel like this is a nice palette. With that being said, I do feel like I don't want to say the Colourpop is in their flop era because I feel like that's mean, but I feel like they're definitely doing other products better than eyeshadow right now. And I feel like Colourpop for the longest time was really known for their incredible eyeshadow palettes, not just good for the price, but great. We used to talk about Colourpop palettes to being either great or good, and now I feel like they're either good or meh. And I feel like that's a shame because I miss those like incredibly pigmented beautiful shadows where you're like, I can't believe this palette is only $20. And I don't necessarily feel the same about the palettes nowadays. I feel like other products that Colourpop comes out with, I feel that, like the liquid highlighters, the liquid blushes, oh, they're so good. This, I mean, it's decent. It's nice. It's not a flop, but also I'm not falling over myself being excited about it. I thought we'd add like a 12th question as well, because I do know they did this tag, Ali and Samantha, and they basically did 10 questions and then they came back the year after, and I think they added a prompt. So listen, I'm gonna do, don't shoot me, I'm gonna add a question. Did I ask them? No. But I'm doing it anyways. So my question is going to be, if you could choose a collab, a palette collab to happen, either with a celebrity or an influencer or a franchise, what would you want to see? And please do this tag. You don't even have to tag me, but make sure to tag Samantha and Ali because they're the ones that came up with the tag. If you want to tag me, that's perfectly fine too. But I just want to see more tag videos. I want old school back. But what palette would you like to see? Me, I am still shook to the core that we have not seen any makeup collabs between Blizzard Entertainment and, let's be honest, anyone willing. You want to collab with Singe? Listen, you want to collab with Singe? I'll give you, I was going to say Jaina Proudmoore. Nobody wants to see that. Sylvana's Windrunner. Jaina Proudmoore. Nobody wants to see that. But I'm just like, where is the Diablo? Where is the World of Warcraft? Like, where are we at? Where are we at with this? I was even thinking about it a while ago because I was on an aircraft. I was going home on a trip and they had Warcraft the movie and I rewatched it for the absolute millionth time and I was like, where is the World of Warcraft like makeup? I can even do Warcraft. It doesn't even have to be World of Warcraft. Listen, I will settle for just Warcraft makeup at this time. Like, this is my weak spot. This is what I want. The way that some people were feeling about that Lord of the Rings collab that came out with Glamlight, that's how I really hope. Maybe Blizzard has been approached a million times and they've just said, absolutely not. We're not doing that, which I respected, even though I'm sad. But I'm just like, I really think that would sell. Or maybe it's just because I would buy it unseen. I don't even know. I even need to know what it is. I'll just send you my debit card, charge whatever you want, and just send me what you got. Send me everything you have. So that is what I would like to see, but I would love to hear what you would like to see. And if you're not doing this tag, answer down in the comments. What collab would you like to see? It doesn't have to be a franchise. It could be a celebrity. It could be a creator, someone you think would make a great job creating something new and fresh. I would love to hear about it. Anyways, I just wanted to do a tag video. If you like these kind of videos, please leave a comment, maybe give this video a thumbs up. It really does help out. And I know for myself as a creator, one of the ways that I try to see what kind of videos are people really liking to see is to check engagement, not just views, but also how did people engage with the videos, the likes, the comments, those kind of things. Because yeah, we are just in a time right now in the beauty community where the kind of content that I love to create, it's not necessarily the kind of content that the algorithm or the bulk of people watching makeup YouTube or makeup content altogether is interested in seeing. So I'm just like, listen, I'm just gonna do what I want. And this is what I would like to see. Please let me know if there's any other tags that you would like to see in the future. If you want to see more makeup content, please don't forget to subscribe. I hope you're having an amazing, amazing day, and I'll see you soon in a new video.